Hey, it's Charlie. Um, I've got it's a Jeep Trailhawk. It's a little Jeep Trailhawk. See the little emblem on it and whatnot. So anyway, I got this hitch. See, it didn't have a hitch on it. See, no hitch. So I'm gonna put a hitch on it. It's it makes the same amount of horsepower. Here's the funny part. One of these Jeep Renegade Trailhawks makes the same horsepower as my Jeep Laredo, Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. Not as much, but that's because it's lighter. But it's got the same horsepower. Interesting, huh? Anyway, the it's at a higher RPM probably. I know I can't tow more than what I can with my Laredo, but I can pull anything that I have. I've got a 2,000 pound trailer. That's like it's a utility trailer that I can put stuff on. Now I also have this little camping trailer over here. Well, it's kind of dark, you can't see it, but it's on my YouTube channel. You can see it. It's a green trailer. I might have to move some videos around because it may not be in the same channel. It might be in the other channel. So anyway, I did wash my hands so I can touch my face. So see, like that, I can still smell the soap on them. So one of the things that it will pull is my little camping trailer. It's got all my camping gear in it, except for food. Food I keep in the Jeep because that's essential. And then water, it depends on whether I want to keep water in it. Not all the water, in case somebody runs off with the trailer. I keep the rest of the I keep the rest of the water in my Jeep or vehicle that I'm in. So the story, here's the story on the hitch on this Trailhawk. So I ended up calling up it's like a Toyota Jeep dealer. They have a Jeep. I mean, they sell like Jeeps, Dodges, and whatnot, but also Toyota's back behind it. So it's not really a total Jeep dealer, but they sell Jeep Wranglers and everything else out front. So that was kind of a questionable thing. So anyway, their place across the street is where I bought this from. Just to give a little background of the vehicle and when I got it and all. So, or why I got it. So I've got the little camping trailer of 1,000 pounds. All my camping gear. This thing, it'll tow up to 2,000 pounds. And I think I know from what I've seen and experienced that you should only tow like half as much. Right? Half as much as what you got, or what the total max is, which would be 1,000 pounds. That's how heavy my camping trailer is with all my gear, and it's made out of heavy wood. It ain't gonna fall apart. Anyway, so the story about getting the trailer hitch parts for this Renegade is kind of funny. I thought, okay, I'll call them up and see, well, what should I do about the hitch on this? I call them up and they said, oh, that'll be about $750 in parts, and then all total it'll be about $1,500, starting out at $1,500. I was like, what? $1,500 to install it and parts and everything? Yeah, but there's other stuff that you gotta do. I was like, oh my god. He said, just give me the details. I'll look it up, but keep in mind that's about how much you'll be looking at. I'm like, okay, all right, fine, bye, and I hung up on the phone because I'd already looked up the parts and kind of how much they'd be, and so It turned out that all the parts was about maybe 750, 800. I think there's a core charge on a plastic part or two because they want the original parts back as a core charge. So I guess when people have wrecks and whatnot, they got to replace them, and they use whatever people have sent back to them. I'm just imagining why they would do this, and I think it's because if somebody has a wreck or they got to replace something, well, this is somebody, we did a core charge return on them, and they give it back to us. This is the one that we replaced during your wreck repair, right? So that's the only reason why I would guess that. And they would easily pay us core charge to get it back since I bought the new one, right? And this one is still good. So there was like 4 pieces. There's a fascia, the full cover. There's a piece that goes in the middle, small piece around the hitch, and then the actual hitch itself, which has like 12 bolts in it. I mean, it's bolted in. The other one that I've looked at was on a Yaris, had 4 bolts, and it was rated at 1,000 pounds. This one has 12 bolts, and it's rated at 2,000 pounds. So I think it's going to be okay. It's got a 2-inch hitch, so I can put any bicycle rack that I want on it, if I want to do that, or a Sea-Doo, or a motorcycle trailer, whatever. I can do whatever I want with it. And it should be powerful enough too. It's got the manual shift to shift around, so that it'll be stuck in the gear and it won't be shifting around on me. I've already played with that enough to know that it's going to be just fine with towing something. The way that I'm going to be taking this apart, though, it's got instructions of like 15 steps. They sent me a packet of like 4 pages, 5 pages with front and back instructions on all of them. And there is a instruction book that came with it, and from looking at it, this thing has little plastic screws, and so each part that I look at, I'm going to have to, or especially on the new pieces, I'm going to have to look for these screws for holes, because that's where a plastic screw is going to go. It's either going to be a screw, a fastener, something goes in a hole. So once I start with the plastic stuff, pulling it off, I have to look at where the holes are and know that, okay, that's where a fastener is going to go. The bumper, I know, is going to have the 12 bolts, so it should be just fine. I know that somebody did something where they had to... No, that was a different model. Never mind. I looked at some other model where they had to actually drill a hole in the body, use a wire to fish the nut through, and then bolt it in or some... Oh, God. It was a different brand. I didn't buy it. I went with the Mopar because of that. I was like, I don't want to do that. Anyway, with the Mopar, and it's got the 12 bolt, but I don't think that I have to do that funny stuff in order to do this. But anyway, I'm going to look at all the fastener holes, know that a fastener is going to be on it, and have to disconnect a fastener from it. And put it somewhere to keep it, and then I may have to go and get more fasteners and put on it. I don't know, but it's yeah. Then there's the wiring harness. I think it's a matter of pull this off. There's a picture. It's a real stickman picture where, oh, you need to pull this off, pull this off, pull that off, pull it through until you get it's on the left side all the way up under the hood, and then I've got the harness in there. It may already be in here and I don't know it. If that's the case, then I'll just, hopefully that's what the case, but I doubt it. I doubt that that's true. I think I'll still need to run the wiring harness through. And then it's just and the old bumper has to be pulled off. I'm not sure if that's the core charge, but I think that the plastic pieces was what the core charge was, but I don't think so. I gotta call them. I need to clarify that. What exactly is the core charge for? Is it the plastic fascias, or is it the real metal bumper? I don't think it'll. So, with what they wanted to charge, it was like $1,500, right? So, with $1,500, you're talking $700, $750 worth of parts. That's going to be about $700, and they charge about $100 labor. It's about 7 hours. So I was up for it. I thought 7 hours, I can do it. I'll have plenty of time. If it's 2 hours, I'll have it done in 3 days. Hopefully. Anyway, that's what that's going to be, and then I can go camping. So it makes like 21 miles to the gallon, which ain't bad. It struggles to get better than that, you know, if I lug it all the time, put it in manual shift, and never rev it up past about 3, then it'll do just fine. But yeah, with fuel mileage, works great. And it'll be a little more expensive, but it's newer, so it'll hopefully be a little more reliable than the Laredo, which has had a little issue here and there. It's like every year I've had an issue with the Laredo. Front end mainly, fuel filter, front calipers, whatever. But anyway, that's the story. That's what I'm going to be doing on this Jeep Renegade Trailhawk. It's a Trailhawk too, so it's built up a little more. They gave it 20 more ponies to run with, and it's pretty hot. It'll growl when it gets up there in RPMs, but it's pretty hot. I like it. I'm going to put that hitch on it and see if it can't tow this little camping trailer. So that's the story on it. That's what I'm going to be doing with it. And anyway, I'll have more information for you as time goes on about how that's going. See you later.